Hi, good afternoon, Kuala Lumpur. This is Dr. E from Layana Clinic. Today we have a special guest from Germany, which is known as the CEO of Lifespin, Dr. Ali Kinasli. Alright, what we are talking about is we've been speaking about so much about proactive biomarkers. The interesting topic here is today is talk about the proactive healthcare management with a proactive biomarker. Should be a new standard for the care as told by the CEO of the Lifespin, Dr. Ali Kazani. So that we would like to introduce to Malaysians these latest most comprehensive 250 biomarkers with just 1 milliliter of blood. It's pretty simple, effective, accurate, and is a chronic diseases buster. Question is back to our CEO here. And why should we do it and why now, Dr. Ali? Can you have a little bit of an introduction of yourself, Ali?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Edwin, for hosting me here. And to my person, I studied biophysics in Germany, and after that, after my PhD and after 20 peer-reviewed papers, I decided to switch from science to the corporate world because I'm always excited by turning high technologies into useful healthcare life science tools. And so in my early career, I built a business at Sony. We made Sony technologies available worldwide in the life science and healthcare industry. And after that, I joined HP. I was leading HP's global healthcare strategy in Palo Alto. And after receiving a board approval at HP to start a new business, I decided to start and join the startup world. So I joined Lifespin as CEO about 4.5 years ago. And then when I learned about Lifespin, it's a Germany-based company, and I was in the US at that time. I never expected a company like that to find in Germany. Why is that? So Lifespin is a software company with a clinical blood collection and blood digitization workflow. Once the blood is being collected and digitized, the blood sample can be interrogated with our algorithms. Now you may ask yourself, why Lifespin? Who needs Lifespin and why? So what is our legitimate right to win in this way, right? So basically, when you perform your standard legacy annual checkup, then you basically get a list of parameters, and then your physician may tell you you look all fine because your parameters are in the range, and then you just basically go and come back next year again. Now, what is a big issue in legacy healthcare is that those parameters are always being looked at as a standalone. They are not being considered to be part of a dynamic metabolic network. That means when you are at the onset, at the beginning of developing a chronic disease, it could be diabetes, it could be cardiovascular condition or a liver condition, you don't see those subtle changes at the onset with legacy methods because you see they're all in range, so no worry, come back 1 year later. Now, what we look at is we capture from one blood sample about 250 metabolomic biomarkers. What is it good for? It is a disease-agnostic, comprehensive way to assess, to interrogate the blood sample. What we do is we project entire biochemical pathways. That means when you are at the onset of, let's say, diabetes, then you see early shifts of those pathways, which are always related to lipid metabolism. Because diabetes is a lipid metabolism disease, actually. And what you basically see in those early stages are early shifts in the biochemical pathways, which are indicative of emergence of diabetes, which will then become manifest as a disease in 5 to 10 years. But if you learn early enough about that, then you can change your lifestyle and do something about it even before getting sick. Because once you get sick, and this is what standard legacy test tells you, when it's too late, then you have to cope with the solutions.
I guess, Ali, that we did realize that the problem in the world globally is around the same. We're talking about the NCDs.
Yeah.
You see, NCD number is even our own country is ever growing and never have gone down until today. So as you say, that why biomarker is such an important part of longevity medicine right now is because I feel that just like commonly in Malaysia, we did 120 ringgit blood test. I call it just a car wash blood test. You don't see much of the thing in it. And nothing is much significance that we can go beyond. So with very comprehensive biomarkers that you find that I recently that noticed that past 6 months there's a high request of biomarkers. As we know that longevity, so-called is medicine has been anchored very well in New York. Whatever presented last night, and so I will get a call very next day on which kind of biomarkers are we offering over here. You see, I believe that AI-driven biomarkers has become the standard of practice in future. In a way that people say that doctors who do not advocate AI in their clinic will be soon obsolete. Yeah? Okay, I guess you've been through this for many years and navigating through these biomarkers many years. Can you tell me what will be like the future of these biomarkers? Yeah.
So there are a couple of aspects. So first of all, the future of the biomarkers will be and must be to look at the biomarkers in the metabolic context, in the context of the individual. I think it's very important to move away from the standalone biomarker perspectives to a more comprehensive network thinking of biomarkers. I think that's very important to understand early changes. Now, there is an issue with NCDs along with aging demographics worldwide. So basically there's a clear correlation. Basically we have to address both. And now when it comes to the biomarkers, it's not just only about the number of biomarkers. So for example, we have in our comprehensive panel about 250 biomarkers. But so basically the future from my perspective is not that we will be better with 500 biomarkers. It's more about what do we do with those 250 biomarkers. And now what comes into the play is basically to model AI-based algorithms to basically understand the different stages of disease, to understand disease progression, and to understand disease regression in case of treatment. And that's why, from our standpoint, I would say the 250 biomarkers we have are good enough for the next couple of years. The next steps are more to refine the AI-based algorithms to understand better, to understand more, and to cover more health areas.
Okay. And so guys, let me define to you guys what a proactive biomarker means to you. It is referred to a biological indicators such as protein, genes, and metabolic measurable in blood, tissue, and other fluids, used to predict and prevent health issues before symptoms emerge, shifting healthcare from a reactive treatment to a preventive, personalized, proactive approach. This is the definition of it. And from this Lifespin, Dr. Ali, the company carries something called Metabolomics, which is emphasized on the metabolic diseases or metabolic approach of an individual person. May I know why you chose Metabolomics as something to begin with these 200 biomarkers? Is it true that most of the diseases in the world begins with metabolic diseases, metabolic problems?
Yes, what I can say is that first of all, we focus on NCDs. We focus on non-communicable diseases, which are a global burden. So we don't look at acute infections, for example. And in order to understand the emergence and the progression of those metabolic diseases, we need to understand the changes, the subtle changes in the metabolic networks. We basically look at patterns. And so basically, we have chosen first a comprehensive Metabolomics platform because it gives you a hypothesis-free, disease-agnostic approach. With this, we can cover many health areas. And this was our intention first, to have let's say a more technology spec-driven, let's say health tech solution on the market. We have launched this product beginning of the year. Since then, we got very great feedback from different countries around the world, which helps us also to, on one hand, confirm the hypothesis that metabolomics is a very important clinical modality. On the other hand, as a health tech company, you also have to listen and understand to the healthcare providers what exactly they need, and then you also get great feedback from the market for next product generations. But just to summarize, the Metabolomics is the most comprehensive panel which can address many different types of use cases. And what's also interesting is, once we digitize a blood sample today, we can still retroactively analyze it next year with other software versions.
I see.
That's, I think, quite important to understand.
Yeah, I think Dr. Ali has spoken so much about the science and the technology on this Lifespin. So Lifespin is more an AI-driven, a deep data solution for the healthcare, and so deliver a very precise as well as the real-time health insights, which is a very revolutionized, personalized medicines. The approach leverage advanced testing as well and AI-driven predictive models. Okay, guys, I guess we've been waiting for this for some time. What we are looking for, a perfect blood test would be first thing that we have more biomarkers that we could get, which is simple, easy to pick up and easy to draw, and as well as most importantly is affordable in this market. Okay, guys, we have something also really important about getting 1 milliliter of blood to produce 250 biomarkers. Then how we do it? Okay, I will ask our CEO, Dr. Ali, to enlighten us on the new so-called Lancet, just to pick up 1 millimeter blood to send it over to this company in Germany to get it analyzed. Can you help us to talk more about this new device that the Lancet that you have?
Sure. Okay. First of all, our motivation was initially to first stick to established conventional ways of blood collection in the healthcare provider side. On the other hand, we also want to make our method as accessible as possible. So it's an accessibility topic, especially when you look at senior citizens. They may prefer to stay at home and collect the blood sample at home, or perhaps in a pharmacy in the neighborhood, right? So basically, this was then our motivation to look out for new solutions on the market which allow highly, let's say, pleasant user experience while enabling a high quality of blood at sufficient volume. And it needs to be, of course, affordable as well. So it should not be expensive. It should be really accessible to a larger group of, let's say, of a larger group of, let's say, population. And what we did is we validated a couple of self-collection systems, and one of the systems we are using is from Tasso. It's basically from a US company, and we open this. And what the special thing about Tasso actually is, you have here this cartridge, and this cartridge has many microneedles. You put it on your arm.
We'll do a demo in a while.
Exactly. So you put it on your arm, then you of course attach the tube to collect the blood, then you push the red button, and then within 5 minutes you obtain 1 milliliter of blood. Now, depending on your preference, you can either use it for obtaining a serum sample or for obtaining a plasma sample. Depends on the workflow you choose. But basically, this brings most advanced health tech to people's homes. For example, in a market study earlier this year, we have sent this to about 300 German households to basically look at the user acceptance. And what we learned is that the user acceptance was very high because people now have been in charge when to collect their own blood sample. Because this empowerment is very important. The people don't want to provide a blood sample if they don't feel well. They want to provide a blood sample when they say, oh, today is a good day, today I feel really like providing my blood sample because I think this will also, of course, have an impact on the result. If I don't feel good and I want to understand what's going on. Now, why is this important at all? Affordability and accessibility is important that people use it repeatedly, because one of the main values of those type of tests is the ability to perform trending.
Yes.
That's especially a very big topic in preventive care, or let's say longevity, so it's not only about the absolute value, your cholesterol is like this or that. It's really more about how does your body, how does your health look like over a series of quarters, for example, so that you really see, okay, this is patient X in winter season, in summer season, and so on, because then you also understand the personal reference ranges and you better understand the trending, because important is the trending ultimately.
I guess it. So this looks like a new trend of better patient experience for taking the blood. I guess being a doctor for so many years that we noticed that there are some challenges of taking blood from the patients. I was list out a few of them. One is nobody like to be multiple You just multiple punctures on them, and every time that we have large volumes of blood taking concerns, and also logistic issue and timing as well, especially with this new TASO that we can it means the benefit for the senior citizen not to move around the clinic and hospital as well. And of course, needle phobia is one of the common thing that we see in our patients, and it's amazing blood taking device or lancet for the children especially. And also, this has become a patient-centric rather than the clinic and hospital-centric. Patient need not to go to the centers or the hospital to collect the blood. They can just take a sample of 1 milliliter blood, and just deliver it over to the clinic. So also another additional issue is that some people are very dehydrated. They have difficulty in venous access. Well, I guess this is a very simple way to collect the blood, and also useful way, and also non-fearful way to collect the blood with TASO. We'll show you the demonstration in a while of that. Okay.
What may be also worthwhile to mention is basically about the patient-physician relationship. I think that's quite interesting when you look at the dynamics, because on one hand, the physician also wants to have adherence from the patient, so that they provide the blood sample or stick to a certain treatment, as an example, right? And then on the other hand, the patient also wants to have some level of convenience and empowerment. And I think with those type of highly decentralized blood collection systems, you basically improve the dynamics between patient and healthcare provider. So basically, it helps also the physician to be more efficient. And what I also see is that quite a few physicians are interested to manage their patients telematically. That means they say, oh, it's great if they can collect it at home. Even better, it's better for everyone, even for traffic.
Yeah, I guess that through our experience with doctors here, we noticed that none of the patients love to take blood, let their blood be collected. You see some fear in them most of the time, and some of them they came to the clinic. Mentally, they are not ready for this blood testing. I understand the concern about it. I hope this will be the solution for all these concerns or this issue before that. So today, we'd like to thank Dr. Ali. Give a short interview with him regarding his Lifespin product as well as the TASO lancet. We will move on to show you how TASO is so-called applied, and how easy this TASO device has revolutionized the whole blood taking event. Okay, thank you so much again. Thank you, Dr. Ali.
Thank you, Dr.
for the interview.